So here we got Lon. See his body positioning on the outside. Wants to make sure that he gets a lot of pressure on the outside curve.
On the bottom, for sure.
On the bottom, yes. Yep. Gonna run a second trowel now. God, look at those calves.
It's just like that one commercial, the guy with the huge calves. That was me. Oh yeah, look at that.
What I usually get in the habit of, especially if I'm going around a curve like this, you know, and you're going to be as picky as you want to be. What I look like, or what I look at is when I drive by a property, I look at the lines first thing, because I'm an operator, okay, and you're the one that's operating the machine. You want to make sure everything is smooth, flowing. There's no jags, there's no ins and outs that can be fixed. The thing is, if you know, that's going to happen. You know, I can see a little one right here. That's going to happen. The thing is, are you fixing it as you go? Are you making it better as you go? And I see a lot of curve, especially in my area, that it's just, it's like they go in a certain direction, they just lay it down, and then whatever it is, they don't fix nothing. So, and I got a lot of landscapers and a lot of guys that'll just tell me, I knew that you did this property because I could see what the lines look like. You know, so that's obviously a compliment for, you know, running a machine, but obviously when you're finishing, you know, to make sure that everything's good and it flows. See, if I wouldn't have adjusted the lines and went off what the landscaper painted, it would have looked like crap. It would have just been a big mess. Okay, so I'm adjusting that as I go because I know what it's supposed to look like. Yeah, the transition from an inside curve to an outside curve, you know, still maintain that. Going to get a little bit more waste here, a little bit more slag going downhill, kind of sideways. I got a little low right there, so I had a little bump on the backside. You can see how he's putting pressure on the backside. That's a total outside curve right there. And if he has room, he likes to jump on the other side of the curb so he can get pressure on the backside to close up any cracks. So now he's just going to do a light spray, nothing crazy. It's going to be your troweling lubricant, and he's going to go through that whole thing. You can see on the inside curve he's putting pressure on the bottom, but now as he transitions, he's going to get his elbow more on the outside of the curb. Actually, he's going to put his body out there to make sure he gets that backside nice and packed. Most of the time you don't need to do that. You just get your elbow outside and you can put pressure there. I can see I got a little bump right there that we're going to fix. We're just going to... Alright guys, so I haven't cut the drains yet. So basically everything coming from over there, it's all going to follow the back of the curve, especially stuff coming from up here. So it's all going to settle in the low spots. So what I'm thinking, I'm going to put a drain right into this one right here. All I do is make a simple little V cut. Doesn't have to be big. I just take my 2 fingers on the back, 2 on the front, and lift it out. Throw it behind the curb. And then I just clean it up a little bit. Walk it back. Boom, done. And I'm also going to add one up here just for safe measures, because the landscapers we're doing this for, they like a lot of drains, and plus it helps us too, because I don't think anybody wants any water going into their basement. So same thing, 2 fingers on the back, 2 on the front, just lift it right out and clean it up. There you go. Okay, now we're looking for flow here. Now I can see from way back here, there might be just a slight little hump right here. Okay, and I might be nitpicking just a little bit considering what that looked like on the way down. We still have to be concerned about drainage. Okay, so we should have a drain at the top there. That pipe should be hanging over the curb after this is all said and done, so the water from the whole side of the roof isn't going inside the curb. If it does, it's going to track obviously down to the bottom of the curb here. And we're going to have to look down here after we get the next mix done where we think we should put some drains. Now I see another drain spot right there that if they don't put across the curb, you're going to have 2 spouts coming down here to the same spot. If you don't do something here to let that water out, okay, that's on the curbing guy. Okay, that's going to be full of water right next to the house. That tends to piss people off. So We need to make sure that that's all taken care of. I can see they got a drainage coming right at the bottom of the wall here, so that water is going to come out at the bottom of the wall. We have to make sure that we have at least 3 or 4 drains running through here to protect ourselves. You take a look at this line that they drew, landscaper. You can see how tight this outside curve is, okay, which is not impossible to do, obviously, but what I tell the homeowners, and this is for landscapers, I've never talked to the homeowners, that's going to be really difficult to mow. These guys here are going to have a big mower, so it's not like they're going to be using a little push mower here. They won't be able to get that big mower in that round circle right there, so they're going to have to do a lot of trimming. But if I cut off that circle and make it smoother, okay, and make it flow a little bit better, it's going to be easier for them to mow. They always say, yeah, make it easier for us to mow. In hindsight, it makes it easier for you to run the machine because the high side's on the back side. It's harder to get that tight outside curve done and make sure that it's tight and there's no cracking and things. So I put it on them, but in reality it's on them, and plus it's easier for us. We never ever tell them that it's easier for us. It's always on them. Cut off about a foot. You can see I was putting pressure into the handle to make sure I had backside pressure to make sure I don't have any cracking on the backside. You can see how much softer that is. It's going to be easier to mow. Okay, they're going to appreciate that when they're mowing. Okay, so this whole curve right here, he's either going to put his elbow on the outside or he's going to jump on the outside. I got that pretty tight, so there's hardly any separation at all. Now on the second run, he probably wouldn't have to go on the outside. Okay, that's after a light spray. The mix was a little bit soft. You can see how a little bit of a wobble in it. Not perfectly smooth around there, so we're gonna have to manipulate that a little bit and get it a little bit smoother. Doesn't have to spray a lot on there because this mix is pretty soft to begin with, but just to get some on the surface to make that finishing trowel, slide real nice. And you can see in the light how smooth that gets. Okay, I want you to look at this curve. This is just out of the machine. Okay, it's not trial or anything. And if you have everything correct sand, the correct additives, the correct chemicals, ratios, you don't need to do a heck of a lot to this to get it smooth. Now he's going to put a little bit on there. Okay, I'm just going to run this trowel. Do that again, Trey. I'm not. All right, move it straight through. Let's try it. Now we got a couple of things to fix. Looks like we got a little bit of color that's on top. You can see how wobbly it is. So we'll go ahead and straighten that out.